Honorable Mathys.
Yes, I need to put on these glasses of mine, otherwise I'm going to see wrong things. Thank you, Chair. Lieutenant General, just as we start, let's talk a bit about your health. Are you comfortable to share with us, was your ill health? We were freaked out because we thought you were not going to end up appearing before us after your appearance at the Commission. Was it related to your testimony at the Commission?
I'm not sure. I'm comfortable to report that my health is back to normal. I got the necessary assistance.
And it was not anything untowards that happened in the Commission that resulted in your ill health?
No.
Okay. I'll start off with something before we get into the nitty-gritty. The EFF had a one-day national shutdown on the 20th of March 2023. I'm sure you heard the testimony of your CFO when she appeared before us, and she reported to us at the ad hoc committee that SAP spent 368 million for a one-day shutdown. You were head of crime intelligence during this time. What intelligence, if you had any, that would justify spending that amount of money for a protest?
Thank you, Chair. What we are responsible for is firstly the assessment of the threat that we think that might be on its way. Then the plan then is the responsibility of the visible policing to plan accordingly. In most cases, our recommendations are just talking to the need for a plan to be put in place for any situation that might come because of that threat.
What was the level, security threat level?
In terms of risk ratings?
Yeah.
In terms of risk rating, if I'm not mistaken, it was a medium risk.
And has there been any other of EFF protests or rallies that were leveled higher than that? If you've done any other assessments as crime intelligence?
I don't remember. It's just that when we do our assessments, we don't normally do them in terms of political organizations. But I don't remember any.
Okay. And have you done risk assessments for other political parties? Or I know you said you don't do it in terms of political parties, right? But there are other political parties that have protests or whatever it is. Has crime intelligence been involved in doing risk assessments for them?
It's
so
one of
standard.
It's a standard.
It's the standard thing. So in your experience, the spending of 368 million on a mid-level risk assessment, and maybe you can also speak to us, what does mid-level, what does it involve? When you give that level of assessment, it means what can happen?
There are lots of factors that are considered. For instance, if the threat is a national threat, so which will mean that they need to have a plan that will cover the whole country. And also other factors that are considered is the what else is happening in the country, because then the resources, the movement of resources will be affected by what else is happening in the country. So to look at the threat and risk assessment of this particular event or threat only might not then give us the correct picture. One will need then to widen the scope and zoom as to what was happening during that time of the year.
Okay, let's move on to, this committee has been subjected to this character called Paul O'Sullivan. And he doesn't want to appear before us. He has disappeared. You as head of crime intelligence, have you done any investigation into Paul O'Sullivan and his organization?
Thank you. Without maybe with the assurance of no more follow-ups on that particular question, but he has been one of our persons of interest for quite some time, few months.
Few months?
Yes.
Is different to a few years. When did he become a person of interest? And when you say a person of interest, it means what? Because he's even written this book called Stop Me If You Can, and he says that he has disrupted and reversed crime intelligence in our country. And I think as a high-ranking SAPS officials, and all of you should be
thank you.
Concerned about that.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. As I indicated earlier on today, that there are people that becomes people of interest just because they just come out of nowhere and they become something. So by saying they are for the past few months, I'm referring to me having been in charge of crime intelligence. I don't want to say yes for the past few months, but he has been a person of interest.
But you've been in crime intelligence, the head, since 2022, am I wrong? You were appointed head of crime intelligence, wasn't it in 2022?
December 2022.
So when you say months, General, you mean like months can be 12 months. That's like a year. I'm just trying to understand when you say he's been okay, instead of saying a few months, give us approximate between 5 and 6 months, or is it 12 to 14 months? Because you've been in crime intelligence, or heading up our crime intelligence rather, since 2022.
Yeah, I can say plus minus 12 months.
Right.
Yes.
So that's over a year. It's not a few months. Then, Lieutenant General, what have you done, or what has been done? Because having someone as a person of interest and acting on it is two different things. So just report, like, what has been done about him to a point that he can even go and write a book. He's implicated, he's given interviews and said that there's crime intelligence officers that gives him information and recordings, etc. So also speak to us about that. Have you investigated who those crime intelligence officers are and what's going on?
Yes, Honorable Chair, through you, there are lots of investigations that are ongoing around the subject. And I think that's why this morning one made a comment that talks to the culture in our country of looking at something happening or starting and then doing nothing until it becomes a problem. So those are one of the issues that one had to look into coming into the current position.
So, Lieutenant General, there's too many investigations going on. That's all we ever hear. You were also at the commission. You said that investigations are at an advanced point on certain matters, serious matters, and we're still there. So generally, what should we expect from our police? Well, your office, your division directly, crime intelligence, like if we have that messed up, our country's messed up. Turnaround time. Because you still have those members that he talks about, whether it's true or not, we don't know. Are they still there working in crime intelligence? Do you even have the names of them?
Which members? 250.
Those he said he gets information from Paul O'Sullivan in your crime intelligence division.
Yes.
Still working there.
Yes, the members who are there within crime intelligence, the division is at a stage. That's why one spoke of the turning around of the environment, which will take some time. It was weakened for a very long time. Now you come with the reforms, then you need tools. And then for the past 2 years, one could not fill the critical post that you expect. Then those are the tools that you need. So the challenges in the environment will need then the working together from all different levels of the arms of state.
Lieutenant General, you're sounding like a politician when you say working together, because if we still have people who are implicated, starting with our president of the country, together we will do more. But the side note on that, what needs to happen outside of you saying there must be reform? We cannot have people in crime intelligence now giving information to outsiders. This man was not even born here in this country. He's busy running NGOs. He's selling equipment and he's giving out information, and then we still have them there. What needs to happen? Because it can't be, and I don't see how you're going to do a turnaround with those people still in there. So you need to tell us what needs to happen, because it can't be that we have ongoing investigations that can go on for years and years, and then they continue being there in the same environment, and the corruption is obviously going to continue. So what must happen? Don't just say reforms, General. Tell us what must happen. What do we need to do here, and recommendations we need to make as a committee?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I explained earlier on that we needed to get our legal framework on track, of which we are almost done with that part, because we need that to straighten the environment, because almost there was non-existence of any policy in that environment, including the legal framework that allows us to do our work. So once that is done, then you need proper tools in the form of personnel, people that are going to implement those reforms. Now, when we are in the middle of that process, and then we are affected by the arrests, we are affected by the holding of posts. So I was referring to months, because there's been a year that has been lost because of that half of the year, no appointments, another half, the whole senior management is arrested and not allowed to go to the office. So with those challenges, but then the plan is there to be implemented, we can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
In paragraph 40, speaking about reforms, you say that you were implementing reforms and enforcing consequence management at a senior management level, but this was not supported by some senior managers. Who are those senior managers that were not supporting the reforms?
Let me start, thank you. Let me start by the current state of the division when it comes to consequence management, even at lower level, before I go to a senior level. In the division, I think there is one incident in the Western Cape where a member was arrested for a very serious crime. and the commander, the supervisor, gave that person a 1 month, a 1 month salary, whatever, and then come back. So I'm just making an example to say the culture of disciplining. It's something that we need to deal with from top. We must have the correct provincial head and senior officers that are going to instill discipline, and then consequence management then will be realized.
Was there a abuse before you took over of the crime intelligence secret slush fund, as they call it?
Yes, big time.
And then what has been done about it?
There are lots of control measures that we put in place. The last incidents of millions that were reported robbed or stolen were as a result of our control measures that we put in place. Eastern Cape, I had assigned the teams to go and do the surprise inspection of the safes, and then that information leaked. And then when the team for a surprise inspection are on their way, and then the commander is reporting a robbery, a fake robbery that is not there. And then that commander was then dismissed afterwards, and then the captain was criminally charged. I'm making an example to say there are lots of reforms, the control measures that we are putting in place that were not existing, but then they come up with those challenges.
So in other words, it's not continuing under your leadership.
One will want to say it's not continuing, yes.
But there were cases that were opened by members of parliament, and we've had long discussions about this in the whole slush fund. Or do you have any response to that? Our case,
No, I don't have an idea.
the response. We had one of the members, Honorable Collard Barnard. Have you done an intelligence report on her?
No,
There's never been there's no intelligence investigation, I think, because Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi said that there's been information that has been collected on her. There isn't any in terms of intelligence report.
no, not as far as I know.
Because he said that if needs be, the information can come and they can show pictures and recordings. You
Yes.
don't have as the
As crime intelligence, but investigation is done then almost everywhere in SAPS.
So it might not have been, you're saying it might not have been a crime intelligence investigation.
Yes.
But we'll just confirm whether he was referring to crime intelligence or not. Have you done any crime intelligence report or have a person of interest? I don't know what the correct phrase is, into Honorable Adams, because he's the one who instigated or opened the cases or the case that had you arrested.
No, it's part of the information that, as I indicated earlier on, that if something, because we talk about people's names, especially if there is no reference or case number yet. The one that I responded to, I know that we have a reference number.
You spoke about Gauteng SAPS and you said there's about 90% of our SAPS members that are involved in cartels. Was there an actual investigation done and when did it start? How did you come to that conclusion?
It's not, that's why one is using percentage, because you gauge that as you continue with operations in a particular environment. If I may give another example, when we started with the reconfigured PKTT in KZN, around that space of political killings, we had to first arrest 35 of our own SAPS colleagues before we could.
Thank you. Thank you so much, General. The time of the member
Has been the chair. Thank you, Chair.
the time of
Honorable
the
Malema will continue tomorrow.
the time of the member has come to an end. Thank you, Honorable Mathys. I don't see any honorable member looking at me. I'm trying to look at all honorable members. None of them wants to look at me. We have taken Honorable Mathys as our last speaker, so that we can start at 10 o'clock tomorrow. So tomorrow we are going to have Honorable Malema, Honorable Nwango, Honorable Sols, Honorable James, Honorable Sangoni, Honorable Ntuli, Honorable Skosana, Honorable Breitenbach. That is the list for tomorrow. Honorable Chopper, your hand is up.
Sorry, Chair, I just want to make 100% I heard correctly. Did you say 10 or 9?
10 o'clock.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm not going to allocate a break tomorrow. I will only allocate a break on condition the general requests it. Yeah. So if it is a break, it is not your break, it is his break. Yourselves, if you want any convenience, you can just quietly and professionally sneak out of the chambers and come back. I'm working within the time that you have allocated to yourselves, so that if you do the calculations, you will see that we are going to finish somewhere before 2 o'clock tomorrow. Let's keep the time and discipline ourselves to compliance. Thank you so much, General, for the responses, the presentation, and the responses that you have given before this committee. And let me also thank the committee members for their commitment. Like today is a special day for them, but they are still here and still prepared to go an extra mile. I want to thank you so much. You know, our fellow members of parliament are not here. It's only us here doing the work for the next 4 weeks. And we must applaud you for this kind of commitment. It's very, very impressive. I want to call off the meeting, Honorable Skosan. But I can see on your face that...
We'll find out what time are we finishing tomorrow. Is it still 1?
No, we're going to finish after 1. We're starting at 9.
Oh,
And we're starting at 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Past 2.
the calculations are as follows. The ANC has 1 hour, and the DA and the MKP combined is 1 hour, and the EFF and the IFP is 1 hour, And then the next 30 minutes is allocated to Honorable Souls. And then Honorable James is 15 minutes. So that is your time allocation for tomorrow. So we will finish some 15 minutes before 2 o'clock. Yeah. Before I close the meeting, because sometimes when members speak, there are others who interject. Is there any member who want to say anything before? Thank you so much. The meeting is called off.